Hello everyone, welcome to the new video. In this video we will learn about one of the most commonly asked questions during interviews, that how view models survive configuration changes. Configuration changes are, let's say, during screen rotation, the activity instance is destroyed and recreated again, and when the app language changes, in that process also the activity instance is destroyed and recreated again. So how ViewModel will retain in memory when the activity is destroyed? Most commonly, we all know about the how garbage collector works. Let's say there is a object in memory, and the variable that is referring to that object, if that variable is destroyed or does not exist, then the object will automatically be removed from the memory through garbage collector. So in the case of this activity destroyed and recreation process, how the view model survives? So I will provide the short answer first. The short answer is, in the component activity class there is a method isChangingConfigurations which will return true when the activity is destroyed for the purpose of recreation during configuration. So in that case, view model does not clear from the memory. So that's the short answer. So in this video we will see how this logic is written behind the scene, which will retain the view model in memory. And at the end of this video I will also provide a detailed answer how I will explain that in few sentences. So let's get started. This is the initial code for this video. You can find that from the description below. So in here we have our main view model, which contains underscore user, mutable state flow, which contains a list of strings, and in the init block we are printing init in the logs, and in here we have two methods, fetch users and show users. These methods we are assuming that we are getting users list from a network call, and in return here we have an in-memory list user1, user2, user3. So we are storing that result in the underscore mutable state flow, and in here we have a show users method which prints the list of mutable state flow in the logs. And in the main activity we are getting the instance of the main view model using ViewModels method, and in the onCreate method of the activity we are printing the hash code of this activity itself and also the hash code of the view model. And in here we have these two buttons, fetch users call the fetch users method and show users call the show users method. So initially we will currently we will run the app and see what the hash code and the hash code of the view model and the activity we will receive during configuration changes. So let's run the app. Open the logcat, clear logs, and in here provide the filter main view model and main activity. Okay, so our app is up and running, and we are seeing that the view model have been initialized, and in the onCreate method logcat we are seeing that the hash code of the main activity and the view model as well. So now I will tab on this fetch users method. This will fetch the users from the network, and on this show users method this will print these user1, user2 and user3 in the logs. And if I perform screen rotation, so in that case the activity will be completely destroyed and recreated again. Now the onCreate method have been called, and we are seeing a different hash code of the main activity, but the hash code of the view model is same as the previous one, which means we already have the data which we have loaded when the app is in the portrait mode. So if I tap on show users method, then we will be able to see these three users in the memory. So now we will understand how it's managing behind the scene, how the instance of the view model is retaining behind the scene. So for that purpose I will divide it into the first part. The first part is that in this view models method we are seeing this ViewModelStore. ViewModelStore, if I control click on this one, then this will move us to the component activity which is overriding this ViewModelStore. So this ViewModelStore is a class which holds the instance of the view model whenever it is created. So who will And where this ViewModelStore instance is stored, this is stored in the, this is the private data member in this component activity, which is nullable, and this will hold the instance of the ViewModel. So in the, so when the configuration change is happening, then there is a method on changing isChangingConfiguration, and there is a lifecycle observable which and in this, when the onDestroy event is triggered of the when the activity is going to destroy, then in this isChangingConfiguration check will be used and to decide whether we should, this should clear the ViewModel from the ViewModelStore or not. And when during configuration changes this is true, then this part of code won't be executed and ViewModelStore will retain in memory. But there is a one point that this ViewModelStore is the private data member of this component activity. When the main activity is destroyed, which is inheriting from this component activity, then that instance will be removed from memory. So why garbage collector is not clearing this ViewModelStore from the memory? Because there is no reference to that ViewModelStore. So this is the now. So this is what we will see in the second part. And in the second part, we will see where this ViewModelStore instance will be stored, that can be accessible again by the new instance of the activity. So in the component activity, there is an internal class NonConfigurationInstances, which will hold the instance of the ViewModelStore. And when this will be created, in the, there is a method retain non-configuration and in this, the instance of the I will skip this detail, and in here we have the non-configuration instances. This instance will be created, and the instance of ViewModel will be stored in this one and return from here, as this method is coming from this activity class, and Android framework itself call this method and hold this non-configuration instance somewhere based on its internal logic. But at least this is the part of the picture which we can understand. So when in the main ViewModel, actually in the main activity, that ViewModels method called in this ViewModelStore, and in this get method there is a method ensure ViewModelStore. So here this will get the instance of the last non-configuration instances from a method which will return an object, and by typecasting it to the non-configuration instances at the end. If we have this in the memory, then we will get the ViewModelStore instance from it, and at the end this ViewModelStore have the instance of the main ViewModel. So I hope this will make a good sense at this point. Now I will explain this in few sentences, that how ViewModel retain during configuration changes. So whenever the activity is being destroyed due to configuration changes, then there is a certain check. There is a certain method in isChangingConfiguration which will return true. When this is true, then the ViewModelStore will not create. Then the instance of the ViewModel in the ViewModelStore won't be cleared, and whenever the instance of ViewModelStore will be stored in the non-configuration instances. And when the activity recreated again, then Android framework call a method which then the last non-configuration method will be called, which provides us the instance of non-configuration changes, and which hold the instance of the ViewModelStore, and from that we will get the instance of the main ViewModel. So this is how I will explain it in few sentences. If you have any better vision than that, then let me know in comments below. So with this, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you find it valuable. If you have any query, let me know in comments below. Thank you for watching. Bye, and I will see you in the next one.